Hello and welcome to Pens, Paint and Whiskers. So today we are going to have a look at a colour test, or rather I'm going to just speak about and show you guys how I plan colours and what I think, and sort of a step by step into my thoughts behind a particular colour practice. And to prepare for this, well, not necessarily that this particular creation was made for that, but I have an OC already made. So I just thought, why not make a video on my how to plan and pick what colours I would like. So this, first and foremost, is my Zelur 300 GSM watercolour paper, and I'll show you the OC. So if you were following along with my videos prior to this, my last video again was about an OC, and I was talking through how they were made. I don't think I've ever talked about the colour process or how I choose colours, but however, I'm going to do that today. And with this OC, and I did mention that my my creation, the last few videos, and might have a sort of a lady friend, not necessarily anything romantic, although here definitely maybe romantic. I don't know if this is should this come with a warning on YouTube. Nothing is shown, but it is a little bit hot, dare I say it, so I might not keep these on camera for too long, but I'll actually just zoom out and show you. This is her. She's called Honor. So Honor, I think that's the way you would pronounce it. I may look that up. But yeah, so she's a kind of a fae vampire sort of creature too. And there is Ranulf. So I made a video on Ranulf. The previous video was on him. And she's going to have a little hellhound with her. And yes, that is a hellhound puppy. And there's another hellhound puppy. So the team of her, so it's to do with creation, destruction. She I planned that she made Ranulf into this vampiric creature too, and whether it was his choice or not, I don't know. Well, I presume it was, just because I prefer that team, but maybe it was he didn't quite know what he was getting in for, and desperation maybe on one's deathbed or gravely injured. Maybe that was what it was about. So I like the team of destroyer, creator, salvation, destruction, those sort of teams. So I want to kind of, with the text, certainly I've pushed into that, and some with the images, yes, I have too. So I'm really happy with the sketch of her. She's sketched in Unipin Fineliners Grey. And yeah, I'm really happy with the composition of this piece. So today I'm just going to kind of draw out or do little swatches on how I decide what colours she should be, or indeed any creation, any OC particularly. So I already plan in my head. Sometimes when I've designed an OC, I immediately know what colours I know their hair, I know their clothes, their eyes, their style. More or less with her, with Honor here, yeah, I kind of do. I envisioned that she should be red-haired, and going by sort of this sort of Elizabethan kind of Tudory sort of historical clothing. Yeah, I know that's how she's going to look. But I don't necessarily know what colours she will be. She will be pale and she will be red-headed. So I know that, and I'm happy that these little hellhounds are going to be a dark colour too. And I know from Ranulf here, he is pale. So I have those colours in my mind. As for her dress and the background, no. And that's hopefully what I'm going to get to today. A little colour swatch. So I'll put those away. And I'll just talk you through the process. So usually this is an old piece of now I'd recommend, and I know other artists recommend, doing a swatch on this particular, the same paper. But this paper, I'm more precious of it. Now, that being said, I did have a little sheet that I made a mistake on, and I sort of, I did, it got very, very dirty on me. Now, unfortunately, that can't be cleaned, but I have this sheet of ordinary A4 cartridge paper that has words on the back, so I'm careful about wasting paper. And that's why I'm a bit precious about my paper for doing art. I don't necessarily like to swatch on them, even though that is recommended and I too would recommend it. But yeah, how and ever, I might swatch on both of them. Because it is always wise to get the materials you plan to use, see how they perform and what tones they come out on the same paper you do the artwork on. Obviously this is very light paper, it's not going to take them all fully, but it's just to get an idea of the particular colours that I want to use. Now I already know my materials, that what I'm going to use for her. So yeah, I'm just kind of, I've brought them along anyway, so a lot of this is kind of the fun, well, not that it's not all fun, it is, but a lot of this is more the creative sort of parts of you know, behind the scene kind of, you know, exercising with colours. Yeah, so, and I'm going to do that here and just sort of talk through kind of my choices and what I think about each colour. So Honor she's going to be, her hair is going to be quite bright. So I'm not going to do, I might leave that until the end, but Ranulph himself, he was done in rich wines and some browns. So I'm thinking instead that Honor here should be purple and navy, and particularly maybe even green. So I'm going to try and see, can I get a good shade going that I'm happy with. So one of her gowns is going to be, I envision maybe purple or navy. And what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of swatching. So these are creative alcohol markers. And I'm just sort of, they're sitting like that in the box. So I'm just kind of at a glance putting them down, what I like, what colours that draw me. And just putting them down. And I'm also careful to number what they are. Now, I would sometimes write out what they are here just so I don't get confused. I think I will do that. So these are my creatives, and I have other ones beside me here. I think it's Crawford and Black. So yeah, so sometimes I have said it before that I prefer these shades over the Ohuhus. I love Ohuhus, but sometimes there's nicer kind of richer shades with these, believe it or believe it not, but that's personal preference. And yeah, I'm just going through the rich kind of colours that I think might make a nice gown for her. So far, I'm not seeing anything here that stand out to me really well. If I do see a colour that stands out, I'm hoping it'll show up in this video. It surely should, but if there is a colour that really stands out, I kind of choose that colour as my main shade and then try and work off a shadow for it, or even like as the base shade. Now, I've seen a nice colour here. I've just made it, so I might talk you through that process. Oh, that's a very nice colour. Yeah, okay, I do like those two colours, 6 and 47. So 6 and 47, yeah, I think I like the idea of her having a gown like that. So that will be 6 will be a main kind of colour. I don't like 49 as much because I feel it's quite murky. I want her to be quite bright. Now that, I think that's too light. I do think that's too light, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try a little bit of shade with her. So I keep saying with her, but it's not with her yet, but it is for her. Yeah, so just try and see what they blend like. And a good thing I have this paper, because I can see when I've refined it what colours I really like. So I think I'd recommend with colours picking a base. So you do the whole thing in base. So her dress will be one shade of green, and then try and find shadows. Like I have found a good shadow already. So 6 could be the main colour, and 47 would be the shadows. Now sometimes 3, other times 2, depending. These ones here, not as numerous. These are Crawford and black. But there's a nice green I like the look of here. So I'm just going to, off the bat, yeah, that's quite similar. So not really much of a difference there. But I was hoping to get a nice navy kind of colour for a dress too. There's quite a lot of blue in that, so it's actually called turquoise green. I don't think I like that as in fitting in with the shades here. But it looks already like I might have gone and picked a nice colour, a nice green. I'll just note that down, forest green, Crawford and black instead. Yeah, so okay, that was a stroke of I won't say a stroke of genius, but a stroke of good luck. And I like the fact that her whole gown will be hopefully 6. And just going here, chancing it. Now obviously off camera I'll do more swatching and blending. But sometimes I don't really, I just kind of go from these little sheets here. Yeah, so it looks like it goes from, yeah, it kind of goes 6, 50 and 47, and I might blend a little bit better here, just so I know what I'm about. So blending is kind of easier in alcohol markers rather than a coloured pencil. But yeah, it has darkened it a little bit, but that is on this paper. So what I might see now is how to perform on this paper. So yeah, I'm not being too careful. Well, I should be a little bit more careful considering she's just below me here. So I'm going to get that little oily sheet and pop it in. So okay, yeah, so I don't want any disasters captured in film. So that's 50, and I'll blend a little bit more off camera, but these already look good. They already look very, very good, and I'm already happy with having chosen a green for her. 47 I should say. Okay, so I like the idea of one gown being that colour. Now, so I'll just flip back to her. So her main gown here, she hasn't, in some of these she hasn't got a lot of, dare I say it, clothing visible. But I do like the idea that that's going to be the green gown there. It's going to be quite striking. The backgrounds now, I'm planning maybe curtains instead. So I do like the idea of having a navy for the curtains or the background. So everything kind of is to be lush and lavish, as a kind of nobility of the time would have. Yeah, so and certainly in a fantasy world, yes, indeed they would too. So that's colours that 74 I do like the look of. Not necessarily 69 here, but I do like 74. And I'll take up the 68 here and see what that blends like. So again, as I said, this is all just kind of just playtime with colours, really. You know, there's no real rhyme or reason to it. It's just me playing with colours and doing an experiment and seeing what works, what doesn't work, and what I really like the most of. And funnily enough, I do like the 2 of these. So this is Crawford and black. I like the 2 of them blending. Well, blending a little bit more. Blending could be better. But with alcohol markers, they're always easier to blend. So I do like that, but I also do like the 74. But I'm not sure how this is going to look. Yeah, that's quite dark. Quite a different shade altogether. But can I manage to blend it in? Yeah, I don't know. I leave them aside. I'm not that happy with how that 74 looks, but I do like the 74. That's that's the problem. Now what's this? This is, no, that's too light. Sometimes you know when you just put a colour down immediately, oh no, that's way too light. So one of the backgrounds on these little sort of small portraits, one is going to be that. Now, so the purple, what's this, 82. That's quite nice. Yeah, I thought it would be more purple. Yeah, a little bit. Okay, that's better. So 73, I do prefer that. So yeah, I'm happy with that as potentially a colour option. So it's sort of like, I'd like to think of it as like interviews for colours, and there's a first round and then there's a second round, and then out of all of them I pick, well, which ones get the job, so to speak. So if you want to do the same kind of thing, yeah, I would say think of it like that. And again, think of it as a kind of a fun exercise. And you learn a lot doing it. Now, these two are kind of similar, but I'm deciding no, I immediately don't like those. I do much prefer these. And the green is, yeah, that's it. That's the colour I was thinking of. The blue here for one background. And the navy kind of purple for another. Now, so in Ranulph's original portrait, I had got him on a bed of, it was like a fur kind of throw, because I like that idea that bringing out that wolfish nature. So I'm going to find a colour again that I like, so a rich kind of brown, if I remember which colours, because I did use these colours for a fur throw, or a wolf skin I should say, really, but yeah, so I prefer, yeah, that's better. That's 64 and 2. And there's a darker one again. So the point of this exercise is, and the first time I'm recording it, is really basically to show you what I do when I think of having to choose colours, because honestly, choosing colours for your piece should be the most fun. It is to me, and it should be the part where you can get more or most creative, in that you don't know what colours you might have only a bare idea, and you get to play around and be creative with them and experiment. So I'm happy with that brown there, and I'm happy with some of these for the backgrounds, and as I mentioned, the skin colour, yeah, I'm happy with that too. Now there is little, I have to be careful now with flame. There's these little kind of banners, so I do want to think of what colours these banners will be. Yeah, that's actually something similar. So this is a beige 104, and there's a light peach here. So sometimes some of these, be aware that always do a swatch, because the colours of a lot of these caps can be quite misleading. And again, like I said earlier, how they perform on the actual paper can be a little bit misleading too. So I will swatch these colours probably on this page here behind me, but I'm just kind of doing it rough here. I don't know, I prefer the 102. Yeah, so the banner now, she's got a little kind of a hellhound and a little hellhound puppy. So I did like that kind of stony sort of really what would I say, what would you call it, kind of, there's a lot of grey in that purple, and there's some grey shades here, and I had an idea that these little hellhounds should be kind of grey, and there's a certain amount of purple in that, so I do like that colour off the bat again. So funnily enough, I'm being quite lucky with my colour choices in this video. It doesn't always work like that, but yeah, I think as as you get used to it, you kind of build up what you call an eye for colour, and a certain knowledge of colour. Now, I'm not saying I have all that knowledge, or I have the eye for colour, but I like to think that I'm wise with my colour choices. But again, a lot of the reasoning, a lot of the reason why I would think that about myself is I just like to do this a lot, experiment and make, what would I say, sensible colour choices. Now I much prefer this purple sand is a good name for it, and dark lilac. They're much better puppy colours, hellhound puppy colours. What I'm doing is I'm looking for a purple. Some greys have a slight purple to them. It's a kind of funny thing to imagine grey and purple together, but sometimes they do. Now that's a little bit too light, so I don't like that, although it is a nice colour, not for what I want it for, and no, not that either. Okay, I've decided, yeah, 65 and 112 here, they are good colours, but and I never use black, and I'm just looking for my Ohuhus here that I have. I wanted to stray away from Ohuhus for the moment because not everybody has access to them. They are very expensive, and I do like making things with more budgetary art supplies, or more I won't want to say cheaper now in a negative way, but yeah, affordable. RG150, that's another kind of you know, Hoohoo's, another kind of idea, but I'm not that happy with that one either. Okay, so little hellhounds are causing a little bit more discord, as is to be expected with hellhounds. But however, don't keep going with the colour experimentations, because they do always, you know, fun and play and exploration like this. At the end of it, you probably will have a better idea, or certainly an idea of how or what you want your piece, your finished piece, to look like in terms of colours. And now I'm kind of showing you what I do when I have a colour in my mind and I can't quite find it in any of the colours I have here, and what I do. So yeah, that's quite a conundrum, and it does indeed happen. And I'm just kind of trying to think, how could I get around that? And again, you know, it just needs a little bit more kind of pushing and experimentation, and colour is a boat that you can always push and push out from the port. So yeah, kind of look at all colours like something to be experimented with anyway. Yeah, so I do like these shades, but again, I'm not that sure if they go with this one. Although, not a bad, kind of a stony, sort of slight lilac in it. You just try and blend a little bit more. And the one thing is, if you pick a colour, if you were watching along with me with Ranulph, I did do a colour mistake with him. Now, I don't want to say mistake as such, but something that I wasn't quite happy with, and sometimes colours allow you to go over them, and when you go over them, they'll give you a nice mix of other colours. So, you know, worked out, but don't panic, you know, if you think you've picked a different colour. It's hopefully doing swatches like this make you more aware of what colours that are out there and how they blend and how they mix and contrasts too. So yeah, I'll go over these purples a little bit more, and hopefully in the next in the next video you will hopefully see me blending Honor and thinking about a background. Actually, I might actually do, now sometimes I do a background first, but I might, in her case, I might do one last. Because I have more visions on how to, with Ranulph I did his background first. I knew I wanted him to be brown. I'm not sure here with Honor. I don't know if brown would go in with that. I might just do a rare all black background. I'm not sure. So that's why I decided to make a film of the colour play in colour process, because I'm not quite sure with her. I have a vision, but it's making that vision and it's putting that vision on paper, and experimenting is sometimes a little bit tricky. So that was why I wanted to make a video of me doing such a thing. So yeah, that's kind of the part one, the basis of how I pick colours and kind of experiment with them. So hopefully in the next video you'll see me blending them all in and talking more about them. If you're new here, I make videos like this all of the time, pretty much every week. Once a week I have a video out. I live stream nearly every 2 weeks. So if you like what you see, why not consider liking and subscribing? You're most welcome here, and I would really appreciate that. And if everyone else is, if you're a regular viewer and you watch all the time, expect more of this type of thing from me. And once again, thank you very much. I appreciate you all so much, and see you next time.